The mining lasers on Europa Station cut through the ice with surgical precision, their blue beams reflecting off crystalline walls in hypnotic patterns. Sarah Chen watched the operation through reinforced windows, her breath creating small clouds in the station's carefully regulated atmosphere. As Chief Operations Officer, she took pride in how efficiently her crew worked the Jupiter moon's vast ice fields, extracting the rare minerals trapped within its frozen depths. Humanity had maintained this facade of technological simplicity for over 2 centuries, while other galactic civilizations saw humans as primitive ice miners and farmers. The quantum computers hidden deep within Europa's core processed data that would astonish their Meridian Alliance observers. "Ma'am," her assistant's voice crackled through the comm. "The Meridian vessel is requesting another inspection. 3rd one this month." Sarah sighed, straightening her plain worker's uniform. "Tell them we're happy to comply." Standard protocol. The Meridians had grown increasingly suspicious of human operations throughout the solar system. Their sleek vessels, with their characteristic purple-hued hulls, had been appearing more frequently at human installations. They claimed routine inspections, but Sarah recognized the pattern of a military force probing for weaknesses. The Meridian ship docked with their usual mechanical precision. Sarah met them in the airlock, presenting the carefully crafted image of a simple colonial administrator. The inspection team, led by Commander Vaxthal, wore their environmental suits despite Europa Station's perfectly breathable atmosphere, a common display of Meridian superiority. "Your production quotas have increased by 7% this quarter," Vaxthal stated, his translator giving his words a metallic edge. "Explain the improvement." "Just better maintenance schedules," Sarah replied with a practiced smile. "We've reduced equipment downtime." The truth lay in the quantum-enhanced drilling algorithms they'd recently implemented, but the Meridians would never know that. They saw only what humanity wanted them to see. Simple machines, basic computers, hard-working but technologically limited humans. The inspection proceeded routinely until they reached Processing Bay 4. A young technician, Jamie Foster, had left his terminal unlocked. Sarah's heart stopped when she saw the quantum calculations scrolling across his screen. Vaxthal moved with unexpected speed. "These computations, they're beyond your technological level." Sarah maintained her composure. "Those are just diagnostic readings, Commander. Perhaps there's an error in the display." But she could see in the Meridian's body language that he wasn't convinced. His next words confirmed her fears. "This facility is hereby seized for further investigation. Resist, and we will use lethal force." Sarah knew this moment would come eventually. Humanity had prepared for it. She subtly pressed her thumb against her wedding ring. A quantum-entangled communication device disguised as simple jewelry. The signal raced faster than light to Earth's hidden command centers. In underground bases and secret orbital platforms, systems began powering up. But before the prepared response could begin, Vaxthal made the mistake they'd been waiting for. Jamie Foster, the young technician, moved to shut down his terminal. The Meridian Guard's reaction was instantaneous and excessive, a plasma burst that turned the young man to ash. Sarah watched in horror as Jamie, barely 23 years old, disappeared in a flash of superheated air. The Meridians had just broken the one unspoken rule that humanity had silently enforced since joining Galactic society. They had killed an innocent human in cold blood. Her ring pulsed once, acknowledging the signal's receipt. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility unknown even to most of Earth's government, General Miranda Hayes opened her eyes for the first time in 50 years. The cryogenic suspension pod systems had already begun warming her enhanced body. As Sarah was forced to her knees by Meridian guards, she allowed herself a small, grim smile. The aliens thought they were securing a simple mining station. Instead, they had just awakened humanity's sleeping giants. In the following hours, similar scenes played out across human space. The Meridians, emboldened by their successful seizure of Europa Station, moved against other human installations. They found the same thing everywhere: evidence of technology that shouldn't exist in human hands. What they didn't realize was that each aggressive action, each seized facility, each act of violence against human personnel was exactly what Earth's hidden military had been waiting for. The Meridians were about to learn why humans had chosen to appear peaceful and technologically backward. As Sarah watched the Meridians begin their occupation of Europa Station, she remembered the briefing she'd received when she'd taken this assignment. If they ever strike first, if they ever harm our people without provocation, we'll finally have justification under galactic law to show them who we really are. The death of Jamie Foster would be avenged, but not with simple revenge. Humanity was about to demonstrate why they had spent centuries preparing, hiding, and waiting for the right moment. In the darkness of space, hidden ships began to power up. In secret bases across Earth and throughout the solar system, soldiers enhanced by centuries of classified medical technology awakened from suspended animation. The facade of peaceful miners and farmers was about to be stripped away, revealing the steel underneath. General Miranda Hayes flexed her fingers, watching as nanomachines beneath her skin traced glowing patterns along her veins. 50 years in cryogenic sleep hadn't dulled her enhanced reflexes or the edge of her mind. If anything, the hibernation protocols had made her stronger. The command center beneath the Pacific Ocean hummed with activity. Through quantum-entangled displays, she watched as similar facilities across Earth activated. Project Prometheus was finally initiating after centuries of preparation. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of authority unchanged by 5 decades of sleep. Colonel Jung materialized beside her workstation, his holographic form indistinguishable from physical reality. Another technology humanity had kept hidden. The Meridians have seized 37 installations across human space. Casualties include 15 civilian deaths. They're systematic, confident, and completely unaware. Miranda nodded, accessing neural implants that connected her directly to humanity's true military network. "How many of our people are they holding?" 8,000 civilians, including Sarah Chen from Europa Station. All of them are embedded operatives. They know to maintain the deception until we're ready. The general allowed herself a moment to mourn the 15 dead. Each death strengthened her resolve, but it was Jamie Foster's execution that had given them the legal justification they needed. Under galactic law, the unprovoked killing of civilians authorized the wrong species to respond with full military force. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, automated factories that had run quietly for centuries shifted into full production. Similar facilities on Mars, hidden beneath the polar ice caps, activated their assembly lines. Humanity's real fleet was about to emerge. "Signal the Lazarus Protocol," Miranda ordered. "Wake them all." Across the solar system, hidden bunkers and orbital platforms released their sleeping warriors. Each soldier was a volunteer who had chosen suspended animation, enhanced by biotechnology that the Meridians couldn't imagine humans possessing. They were veterans of Earth's hidden conflicts, champions who had proven themselves in battles kept secret from history. In her private quarters, Miranda reviewed the quantum recordings from Europa Station. The Meridians' arrogance was clear in every frame. The casual way they executed Jamie, their dismissal of human capabilities, their assumption of superiority. She had seen it before, centuries ago, when she led Earth's first contact team. The aliens had welcomed humanity to the galactic community with condescension barely disguised as benevolence. They saw humans as primitive, barely worthy of notice. Earth's leadership had made the decision then. Let them believe it. Build in secret, prepare in silence, and wait. "General," Colonel Jung's hologram reappeared. "The first wave is awake and combat ready. The Meridians still haven't detected our quantum communications or the power signatures from our activation sites." Miranda opened a secure channel to all awakened personnel. "Warriors of Earth, you've slept while humanity played its part. You've waited while we built our strength in secret. The Meridians have broken the peace by spilling innocent blood. Now we show them why humans chose to hide our strength, not out of fear, but because we understood the responsibility that comes with power. In orbit around Jupiter, cloaked shipyards shimmered into visibility. Vessels that would have stunned Meridian military theorists emerged from their hiding places in asteroid belts and planetary rings. Each ship represented decades of hidden technological advancement, crewed by soldiers who had sacrificed normal lives to wait for this moment. The Meridian commander occupying Europa Station was reviewing the facility's logs when his sensors chief interrupted with panic in his voice. "Sir, massive energy signatures appearing throughout the system. They're like nothing we've seen before." Before he could respond, every screen in the station activated simultaneously. Sarah Chen, still under guard, smiled as General Hayes's image appeared. The message was broadcasting across all Meridian frequencies, translated perfectly into their language. To the Meridian Alliance, "You have committed acts of unprovoked aggression against human civilians. You have murdered our people. You believe you know humanity's capabilities. You are wrong. We chose peace not from weakness, but because we remembered the cost of war. You have forgotten that cost. We will now remind you." Miranda closed the broadcast and turned to her neural interface. "All units, commence Operation Revelation. Show them who we really are." Across human space, the carefully maintained facade began to fall away. Quantum shields shimmed into existence around primitive human colonies. Mining lasers revealed their dual purpose as point defense systems. Simple communication arrays transformed into weapon platforms that had been hiding in plain sight for generations. The Meridians were about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't its hidden technology or sleeping soldiers. It was patience, the willingness to endure centuries of perceived weakness while building the strength to ensure they would never need to fight again, unless someone forced their hand. As Miranda watched the first coordinates lock into place, she remembered the oath she and her fellow sleepers had taken. "We sleep so others may live in peace. We wait in darkness so others may walk in light. And if that peace is ever broken, we will awaken to restore it." The time for sleeping was over. The time for revelation had begun. Admiral Kexthor of the Meridian Alliance stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, watching tactical displays with growing unease. The human response he had expected: panic, pleading, possibly ineffective resistance with primitive weapons, hadn't materialized. Instead, an unsettling silence had fallen across human space. "Status of the Europa Station occupation," he demanded. His tactical officer's response was interrupted by a cascade of alerts. Proximity warnings screamed across every console as spatial distortions erupted around the Meridian fleet. Ships emerged from what appeared to be tiers in space itself, vessels of human design, but unlike anything the Alliance had encountered. On Earth, General Hayes watched through quantum-linked sensors as Operation Revelation's first phase began. "All strike teams, execute with precision. Remember your training. Minimal casualties, maximum impact. Show them our strength, but also our restraint." The human vessels moved with impossible grace, their hulls seeming to bend light around them. Meridian sensors struggled to lock onto them, their targeting systems confused by quantum field manipulators that humanity had perfected centuries ago. Sarah Chen, still under guard on Europa Station, felt the subtle vibration through the deck plates. The Meridian guards didn't notice, their sensors still blind to the true capabilities of the station's primitive systems. Deep within Europa's ice, quantum processors completed their calculations. The entire station's power grid had been a weapon in disguise. Admiral Kexthor watched in horror as his fleet's shields failed simultaneously. Human ships hadn't fired a single shot. Instead, they had activated a quantum field that simply negated the Meridian's defensive technology. Centuries of apparent human technological inferiority had been a carefully crafted illusion. "All ships, open fire," he commanded, his voice cracking with desperation. The Meridian fleet launched a barrage of plasma torpedoes and gravity weapons. The human vessels made no attempt to evade. Instead, the attacks passed through them, as if they were holograms. Quantum displacement technology, perfected during humanity's hidden years, made their ships exist in multiple spatial states simultaneously. In her command center, Miranda allowed herself a small smile. Phase 2. Show them why we chose peace. Human vessels launched their first and only attack, not with weapons of destruction, but with targeted quantum fields that disabled Meridian systems while leaving their life support intact. Ships that had proudly dominated human space found themselves powerless, their crews alive but helpless. On Europa Station, Sarah Chen finally moved. Her quantum-enhanced reflexes, dormant until now, allowed her to disarm 3 Meridian guards before they could react. The station's hidden systems activated, trapping the occupying forces in containment fields that their scanners had never detected. Admiral Kex Thor watched his mighty fleet reduced to drifting hulks in less than 10 minutes. No casualties, no destruction. Just complete and utter defeat through technological superiority that humans had possessed all along. This is General Miranda Hayes to all Meridian forces, the transmission cut through their emergency channels. Your fleet is disabled. Your ground forces are contained. You have 2 options: immediate surrender, or watch as we systematically demonstrate every technology we've hidden from you. Technologies we chose not to use until you forced our hand. In the silence that followed, Miranda reflected on humanity's path to this moment. After their first wars, humans had learned the hardest lesson. True strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to hold back that power. The Meridian Admiral's response came quickly. We surrender, but I don't understand. Why hide all this? Why pretend to be primitive? Miranda's answer broadcasted across all frequencies. Because we remembered our own history. We knew that visible power invites challenge, breeds fear, and leads to escalation. We chose to be underestimated, to be dismissed as primitive, because we wanted peace, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Sarah Chen, now in control of Europa Station, accessed its quantum communications. The station's true form shimmed into view as adaptive camouflage deactivated. What the Meridians had seen as a simple ice mining facility was revealed to be a technological marvel, a defensive installation that could have resisted their entire fleet. Send word to the Alliance Council, Kex Thor said quietly to his communications officer. The humans, they've been protecting us from ourselves. As disabled Meridian ships were towed to holding positions, Miranda opened a channel to all human forces. Phase 3 initiated. Begin the revelation of who we really are. Not conquerors, not destroyers, but guardians who chose to watch from the shadows until we were needed. The true scale of human technological achievement began to appear across the galaxy. Hidden installations, cloaked satellites, and quantum networks shimmered into view. Each revelation demonstrated not just human advancement, but also their restraint. Technology developed not for domination, but for protection. The galaxy was about to change, not through violence or conquest, but through the revelation that humanity had been its hidden protector all along, waiting and watching, hoping their strength would never be needed. Dr. Valexant, chief archaeologist of the Meridian Science Academy, stared at her findings in disbelief. The data fragments recovered from ancient ruins on Proxima b told a story that contradicted everything the Alliance believed about its own history. Cross-reference complete, her quantum assistant announced. Human quantum encryption detected in artifacts dating back 30,000 years. In her secure laboratory aboard the Meridian science vessel Eternal Truth, Vela's hands trembled as she accessed more files. The humans hadn't just been hiding their technological advancement for centuries, they had been guiding galactic civilization for millennia. Meanwhile, in Earth's Pacific Command Center, General Hayes reviewed intelligence reports from across Alliance space. The Meridians' initial shock at their defeat was giving way to something more complex, a mix of fear, respect, and growing curiosity. They're accessing the ancient sites, Colonel John reported, his hologram flickering with unusual static. Dr. Xant has breached the first layer of quantum encryption. Should we stop her? Miranda smiled. No. Let her discover the truth. It's time they understood their own history, and ours. The truth was more extraordinary than even the Meridian's worst fears. Humanity hadn't merely been pretending to be technologically primitive. They were the descendants of an ancient peacekeeping force, one that had chosen to step back from active governance of the galaxy to allow younger civilizations to develop naturally. In the Meridian Central Archives, Dr. Xant found more evidence. The Alliance's rapid technological advancement hadn't been their own achievement. They had been subtly guided, their discoveries nudged along by seemingly primitive humans who appeared at crucial moments in their history. Security breach in Section 0, announced the Archives I. Unauthorized access to restricted historical records. But it wasn't a breach. The humans had built these systems millennia ago, leaving quantum backdoors that had waited patiently for this moment. As Vela dug deeper, she uncovered the truth about her own species' violent past and how humanity had secretly prevented them from destroying themselves. Admiral Kexthor, now under house arrest in a human quantum containment facility, received the reports with growing amazement. "We were never the advanced civilization we thought we were," he whispered. "We were the students, and they were the teachers all along." In her command center, Miranda watched as similar revelations spread across Alliance space. The quantum network that humanity had hidden beneath the galaxy's communication systems activated, revealing its true purpose: not surveillance, but protection. "They're accessing the Sentinel archives," Jean reported. "The truth about the Guardian Protocol is spreading." The Guardian Protocol, humanity's greatest secret. After achieving technological supremacy millennia ago, humans had made a choice. Instead of ruling through force, they would guide from the shadows. They seeded the galaxy with quantum technology, disguised as natural phenomena, watching and protecting as younger races developed. Dr. Xant's voice shook as she broadcast her findings to the Alliance Council. The humans didn't hide their technology out of fear. They hid it because they remembered their own path to advancement. They chose to be our silent guardians, intervening only when absolutely necessary. The evidence was undeniable. Every major Meridian technological breakthrough had been subtly guided by human influence. The quantum drives they were so proud of, based on principles left in ancient data caches by human scientists. Their advanced medical technology, derived from primitive human research that had been carefully placed in their path. In the Meridian Council chamber, the full implications began to sink in. Their recent aggression against human colonies hadn't just been a tactical mistake. It had been an attack on the very civilization that had been protecting them for millennia. "We should have recognized the pattern," Dr. Xant told the Council. "No species advances as peacefully as we did. We had help. We had guardians." Miranda watched the proceedings through quantum feeds, remembering her own awakening centuries ago. She had been part of the original Guardian Protocol, one of the first to choose suspended animation over direct intervention. "Show them the Proxima archive," she commanded. "Let them see who they really tried to conquer." Across Alliance space, quantum archives activated. The true history of the galaxy played out on millions of screens. The humans hadn't just been pretending to be primitive. They had been maintaining the galaxy's greatest library, preserving knowledge that might otherwise have been lost to time. The intelligence war was over before it really began. The Meridian's greatest minds had finally discovered what humanity had known all along. True power lies not in dominance, but in the wisdom to guide without controlling, to protect without oppressing. As Dr. Xant compiled her final report, she included a quote from ancient human archives. "The greatest achievement of power is the ability to hold it without using it." Now she understood. Humanity had mastered that art millennia ago. The great hall of the Galactic Concordat hummed with tension as representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered for humanity's formal address. Gone was the illusion of primitive human ambassadors in simple clothing. General Miranda Hayes stood at the podium, her quantum-enhanced form a testament to humanity's true technological achievement. The Meridian delegation sat in uncomfortable silence, their recent aggression against primitive human colonies now revealed as an attack on the galaxy's most advanced civilization. Admiral Kexthor, present as a witness rather than a prisoner, could barely meet the eyes of his fellow Alliance members. For 30,000 years, Miranda began, her voice carrying naturally to every corner of the vast chamber. Humanity has watched, guided, and protected. Today, that era ends, not because we wish to rule, but because you are ready for the truth. Quantum projectors activated throughout the chamber, showing the true extent of human influence throughout history. Hidden installations that had prevented cosmic disasters, subtle interventions that had guided young civilizations away from self-destruction, and countless instances where humanity's hidden hand had preserved peace. Dr. Vela Xant, now speaking for the Meridian Science Academy, presented her findings to the assembled delegates. The humans didn't hide their power out of fear or deception. They hidden it because they remembered their own violent emergence into space. They chose to be guardians rather than conquerors. In orbit above, the true form of Earth's defense network shimmered into view. What appeared to be stars were actually quantum-linked satellites, part of a vast protective grid that extended throughout human space and beyond. The technology that had seemed primitive was revealed as merely the surface of an iceberg of advancement. We could have conquered, Miranda continued, but we chose to protect. We could have ruled, but we chose to guide. When the Meridian Alliance attacked our colonies, they didn't find our weakness. They discovered our strength. Sarah Chen, no longer playing the role of a simple station administrator, activated Europa Station's full capabilities. The ice moon transformed, revealing its true nature as a hub of quantum computing power that had helped maintain peace in the solar system for centuries. But now, Miranda's voice carried the weight of millennia. We offer you a choice. Not submission to human rule, but partnership in guardianship. The galaxy faces challenges that require unity, not dominion. The quantum archives opened fully for the first time, revealing threats that humanity had been quietly monitoring. Extragalactic signals that suggested hostile intelligence, dimensional anomalies that threatened space-time itself, and cosmic events that could endanger entire sectors. We hid our strength because we wanted you to develop your own, Miranda explained. We intervened only to prevent catastrophe, believing that natural development would lead to stronger civilizations. Today, we invite you to join us as equals in protecting our galaxy. The Meridian Council members, their recent aggression forgotten in the face of larger concerns, were the first to stand in support. Other civilizations followed, each coming to understand that humanity's deception had been an act of profound wisdom rather than fear. Admiral Kexthor, humbled by the revelation, addressed his fellow Alliance members. We thought we were punishing primitive aggression. Instead, we forced the galaxy's guardians to reveal themselves before they judged us ready. Let us prove them wrong about that, at least. As the galactic representatives debated the path forward, Miranda activated one final quantum projection. It showed the true face of Earth, not just a cradle of civilization, but a testament to the choice humanity had made millennia ago. The choice to guide rather than rule, to protect rather than dominate. The age of secrets is over, she declared. Now begins the age of true cooperation. We offer our knowledge, our technology, and our partnership. The galaxy faces challenges too great for any one species to handle alone. In the depths of Europa Station, Sarah Chen accessed the quantum network one last time. The false readings that had hidden human advancement disappeared across the galaxy, revealing the true extent of their civilization. Not an empire built on conquest, but a network of guardians who had chosen to watch from the shadows. Dr. Xant's final report to the Galactic Concordat summed up the profound shift in understanding. We thought we were the height of civilization, only to discover we had been students all along. The humans weren't lying to us. They were teaching us, waiting for the day we would be ready to join them as true equals in the stars. As the gathered representatives voted unanimously to accept humanity's offer of partnership, Miranda reflected on the long journey that had led to this moment. The sacrifice of countless humans who had chosen suspended animation over normal lives, the dedication of those who had maintained the illusion of primitiveness, and the wisdom of ancestors who had chosen guidance over dominion. The galaxy was entering a new age, not one of human rule, but of true cooperation. The Guardians had revealed themselves, and in doing so, had transformed potential conquerors into partners in protection.